Hello everyone, it is Icredd on the cast today to help Malcolm out with this backlog of games. We have Curious Minds, and in the bottom right hand corner, with the pink Protoss probes, we have Aguanah, and in the top left hand side, with the Zerg drones, we have ghazghkull. Now, straight away, I'm not seeing this Overlord going out for a scout, which is bad signs already. Really, beginning of the game, you build that worker, you have loads of time, you can just grab and send them over here. Easy scout. Now, are we going to see a wall-off from the toss as it is a PVZ? There we go, the wall-off. Standard stuff. And are we seeing, we're seeing pull first, okay. Is this going to be a Ling Rush, which could easily be countered by a wall-off? That could go quite bad for ghazghkull. Now, you've got the two Overlords here. Realistically, you want one scouting. You could probably afford to send the other one to scout as well. I mean, you're not really going to lose it. And the pointless standing here, just get some information. Speaking of that, though, I haven't seen the Protoss go for a scout either. So it looks like another game with zero scouting. Now, what are we going to see? Are we going to see some gas taken? Usually you'd see some gas taken for Ling speed. And the hatchery has got, so the natural's gone down, the gas has just been taken, the pull's extremely early, and no Zerglings are in production. I am not sure why this has been built. Oh my! That's why. A very quick Roach Warren. Is this some elite timing that ghazghkull's worked on? I mean, if you get some Ravengers, and there's only, one Zealot in the wall, that could work. But we see the second gate being dropped. Obviously the cybercore comes down. Now, you need a transfer of workers here, and you also need to get your natural down. Because very quickly, this is going to be fully saturated, and you're going to need, that's it, build that. And on the Zerg side, what are we seeing then? So far nothing, just 400, 500 minerals now in the bank with one roach on the way. This is why you need to take that gas so much sooner, because believe it or not, roaches do cost gas. I would have liked to have seen the second gas taken, realistically, because you just have such a big bank as well. I mean, I'd probably also say, put down your third, why not, right? But, really, that pull first into a roach, there's not been any sort of push, and there's two roaches. I don't think this was worth it. I think you should have just gone macro, but we'll see how that goes. We're seeing a robo as the next step for the toss, which means we'll be getting a ground army. Maybe we'll see some warp prism play, that's always fun. But the natural still isn't down. Oh, that's why. The wall-off has blocked the probe from building the natural. So this is going to be an it notices now, but this natural's coming down pretty late, and I'm assuming massive oversaturation. You've got to remember, if you're walling off, unless your probes are mineral walking, they're not going to get past the units. Now, we see the third being taken for the Zerg. We've got two queens out. I would have liked to see a few more queens and a bit of scouting from either side. Now, you've got an observer. Send it across the map. See the tech. See its roaches. Go Immortals. You've got the robo. It's almost perfect for you. Now the Zerg, you need these overlords on the map. You need to see it's a robo. You need to see that they're going ground. And they're just not doing it. And there's been no creep spread. There's not really an army. I mean, for a spawning pool first, to have 4 roaches, and see, you've just gone and built a spore crawler. Now, that's not really needed if you were to have scouted and see your opponent. They've not gone Stargate, so there's no need for this. You're not going to have an Oracle coming round or a Void Ray, and it's not even in position to defend. However, well, I guess I take that back. It's genius 100 IQ plays to take out the Observer. I mean, it's worked. I think I would have preferred the layer to be built and just build an Overseer. Because then you can sort of still use the Overseer. Well, this Spore Crawler, if your opponent isn't going Stargate, which they're not, I don't think it's going to be worth it. What I do like to see, though, is upgrades. And we have +1 attack coming along. And you've got to transfer the workers, man. Come on. Oh, and the Robo Base. So we will be seeing Colossi tech. However, you did just scout that they are going Roaches, so maybe Disruptors, hopefully. That'll be quite fun. Maybe we'll get some Disruptor drops this game, you can hope. But let me check upgrades, actually. That's not upgrades, so there we go. None for the Zerg. Now, you've got the minerals, you've got the gas. Why not get Roach speed? Why not get Ling speed? You could whack down an Evo Chamber, get +1. I mean, you've got 1.3k minerals in the bank. Drop a 4th. Hell, drop a 5th if need be. Build some queens. You can just continuously pump out queens, get like 6, 7, 8 queens, and that can really make the difference in a fight with all those transfuses. And for the toss, we have loads of zealots. Will we see a Twilight Council and charge, maybe? That would be quite... Sorry, have I just seen... My eyes don't deceive me. We have triple Robo coming down for the quadruple Robo plays. Now, you've just grabbed your 3rd, and I don't think you're going to have the money to fund 3 Robos at once unless you pump out 4 Observers, but nobody wants that. Yeah, this is all just due to not expanding quick enough. Not expanding quick enough. And maybe building gateways would have been better. I feel like 2 gateways, you're going to want a lot more. I mean, what happens if this Zerg transitions? It's going to be very slow transition on just 2 gateways for the toss. Now, you've got the Roaches here. Why not have them out on the map? You know, like, you could just pop up here, take this out, and just run home, really. Nothing would stop you. Oh, Hydralisks to back it up. Now, I don't mind a bit of Roach Hydra, to be honest. You got the beefy Roaches and the squishy DPS of the Hydras. You know, it's your stock standard. Heavy in the front, light DPS in the back. And, I mean, against this army composition, though, all we need to see is some... Now, we are seeing quite a few Immortals, which are good against Roaches. I would love to see maybe 3 Disruptors that will just decimate this, because I don't think we're going to see much micro from either side. We've seen no harass and no scouting as well, which is quite unfortunate for both players. Now the 4th has been taken at last, and the production's just a bit slow really for this Zerg with the bank you've got. You need to be injecting, spending that money, because having 2.5k minerals in the bank with this little supply, it's not good enough. And the scouting, oh, it's been abysmal. As Zerg, why not build 4 Zerglings? Just have them out on the map seeing when my opponent's getting the 4th, like the opponent is now. This 4th is so undefended. If you had speed, oh. But we have Muters now popping out for the Zerg. Now, because there's only 2 gateways... Oh, it's scouted, though. It's scouted, so hopefully we'll see a warp-in of some Stalkers, maybe. But yeah, because only 2 gateways, you're not going to get many Stalkers out in defence, and you've left your only 2 Stalkers at the front. They're going to have a hard time getting all the way up here. But the quintuple Stargate transition. Now, pumping out 5 Phoenix at a time will just completely counter these Muters, but they're not going to finish for a while. No, kill the workers. This is fine. Don't target your own Muter. No, kill the workers. Come on. Although, you could probably... Oh my god, he's going to snipe the Colossus. Oh no, this is terrible. You could have recalled your stalkers. You could have warped your stalkers in over here. You've got to have more than 2 gates. Oh, this is abysmal. These muters are just going to have free reign. No, don't engage. Just fly here. Take them out. Fly here. There's no blink, I'm fairly sure. That's right, there is no blink. You can just outmaneuver them all day. And with 6 more muters on the way, things are not looking good for our Protoss. And the Stalker's out of position again. God, is he going to be able to pick up some Immortals? I think so. My god, this is not looking good for the Protoss. The terrible placement of buildings, frankly, has really caused an issue with maneuverability. And the Zerg army has come in for the attack. Is this going to be the game? I don't know. I feel like the TOS just doesn't have enough air to deal with this. I think this is. If we would have seen some shield batteries, I really think the Protoss could have held this, but saying that, though, the supplies are still quite similar. The roaches are mostly gone, the hydras are going to melt, and up come 4 void rays to save the day. I think there's enough to hold here. These muters are not going to fare well, and there's just enough on the ground, I think, to see off these hydras. But you need to target fire. You need to focus down. That immortal is so low. Focus it. This void ray, focus it instead. You're just going to... He didn't even get the Nexus. Well, that is unfortunate. What could have been the game has turned out to be an impressive hold for the Protoss. I feel like it almost would have been better for the Zerg just take out this base, take out this base, take out this base, and just go home. Macro up, come back in a bit with a massive army and just win, but now the Protoss is ahead in supply with, 5 warp gates. Not 5 warp, it's 5 stargates transitioning to void rays, but once again, no economy to supply them, and this is not going to go well, is it? You've got to either commit to attacking or do that harass. You don't want to just be flying around taking damage. Now, you do see stalkers being walked in, but there's been no gateway explosion. You've got 3,500 minerals. You've got to be building some gateways, and did we even see charge? We didn't even see charge for those zealots. We saw extended thermal lance, but it got picked off so quickly. That's just highly disappointing. Now the Zerg, what is the Zerg doing? More muters, more hydras. I mean, against void rays, I do not mind it. I think the Zerg just wins this. I mean, it's not been too great of a display from either, but I mean, what do you expect? It's the EMS Noob League. I mean, I'd love to see a 5th, a 6th. The Zerg should be doing what the Protoss is doing, just grabbing these bases. Why is the TOS doing this and not the Zerg? You have 8k minerals in the bank. Oh my god. You've got to be spending it. The Protoss, you know what your opponent's going for. If you know they're going for mutants, build loads of phoenixes. They are amazing against them. You can build 5 at a time, but you just don't have the gas for it actually, do you? Transfer these out. You've got far too many minerals, no gas. Take 3, put them in there. Take 2, put them in there. Just build the gases on these bases and take the gases, not the minerals. You need the gas. Minerals are no good if you don't have the gas to go with it. And for this Zerg, I feel like you need to be more on the map. You need to be knowing what your opponent's doing. Because right now, your opponent's army, it's separated. It's very, very separated. You could just swarm in on this, take it out, and I think that's just the game. I mean, we're seeing a fleet beacon coming up, so the Protoss is trying to go Death Bull carriers, as we usually see. Now, the Zerg really, here we go, makes a move. This is what we need. You cannot just sit back for 10 minutes and let your opponent get mass carriers. You will most likely lose, especially with no upgrades in this army. Now, they're flying in to go and take out the Colossi and the Void Rays, and I think there's just too many muters here. They can probably fight, but Saying that, I'm not so sure anymore. You need the whole army together for this engagement. It's going to have to be very decisive because the supplies are just so even, but the banks are so big. It's close, this game, but the issue is a lot of the supply is in these immortals. I think you need more anti-air because this Zerg is just constantly making more and more muters. And we've got some corruptors joining in as well now. I think this is the Zerg's game by the looks of it. But saying that, here come the carriers. Now, I don't see a chrono boost. You need to chrono these out. This is make or break. You need shield batteries. If you get 6, 7, 8 shield batteries here, get an overcharge down, I think you can still win this fight. But with that, I mean, you do have an upgraded advantage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Now this Zerg, you really need to make a move soon. You cannot let your opponent just make carriers. Come on, are we going to see action from either side? I mean, we've got 8 more muters coming out. We got some upgrades, which is always nice. But here we go. Oh, this is what you need to do. Take that base. Okay, no, just going in. This is it. This is surely the big fight. These muters are going to just shred. And with the army clumped up, the splash damage is going to be immense. Although these Hydras are just getting melted by that Colossus. Oh my lord. But there's just not enough anti-air, as I said. The Stalkers, they're not going to do anything against this many muters. And I think the carriers are popped, but there's not enough. They've not had time to build up interceptors. There's been more Stargates put down as well, but you didn't have the economy to support it, and you weren't chroning them out. There's just nothing the Protoss can do. This is surely GG. I mean, although, saying that, you do have carriers about to pop, but with no shield batteries, it's just not enough for this many muters. This many muters can just fly in, take out the few pylons, and just, that's the game. Come on, just GG at this point, Toss. It is well and truly over. The supplies are going to start to drastically take a lead, and there we go. Round 2, Game 1 has gone to ghazghkull.